Hola, hola, hola. Hey, everybody. Hola, hola, hola. Hey, mis bellas, hermosas, chulas mujeres. Welcome to another episode of Mujer De Exito Unbounded, Woman of Success Without Limits. I am your host, Marti, and I am so fired up, so excited for today's conversation. Mujeres hermosas chulas, you know that I want to share with you something that's kind of been throwing me off a little bit. And I really need your feedback. So if you would be so kind as to drop in the comments below, or if you're listening to me wherever you listen to your favorite shows, make sure to reach out to me. I want to know, because right now my podcast is 80% English, 20% sprinkling of Spanish words, but I try to make sure that I give, the meaning of them. But my question to you is, do you like everything in English? Do you like everything in Spanish only? Or is the way that I'm doing it a mix of Spanglish okay with you? I want to know. All right, let's get to today's episode. We are in week 2 of our journey into mindset and manifestation. And today, ahora, we are talking about the secret weapon that every mujerpreneur, Latina professional, BIPOC woman entrepreneur already has. But so few of us actually use it to its full potential. Mujeres hermosas, chulas, welcome to another episode of Mujer De Exito Unbounded. I am your host, Marti Angel. Gracias por estar aquí. I am talking about your sixth sense today. Tu intuición, your intuition, the gut feeling that tells you when the person sitting on the other side of your deal table is actually there for a good deal, or is that person actually there bringing something shady to the table? So when a partner is shady, or when it's time to take a leap of faith that makes absolutely no sense on paper, that is your intuition. That is you. That is your internal guidance system turning up the volume. And in the corporate world and in business school, when I was in business school many moons ago, but I was in college at the School of Business, they taught us, and they still teach us, to rely 100% on logic, on data, on spreadsheets, on KPIs, estadísticas. And don't get me wrong, the data is important. I mean, you hear it over and over and over. You hear all the influencers saying, know your numbers, know your numbers. Yes, the data is important, but not as important as your mindset. So if you're only leading your business, si nada más estás lidiando tu negocio with your logic, con tu lógica, you are leading with only half of your brain power, half of your energetic power. So yeah, I talk about this weird stuff because I'm finally coming out of the closet. I am a sixth sense mujer, and I'm not afraid or embarrassed to talk about that anymore. So let me just share with you a little story. You see, I remember a few years ago, I was offered a contract that looked perfect. The money was incredible, at least at that point in time. And the brand, well, it was very well known. But inside here, in mi cabecita, in my mind, my logic was screaming, take it, take it, take it. This is the big break you've been waiting for. This is your breakthrough moment. This is it. This is where you're going to get all the speaking engagements you want. But every time I sat down to sign the papers, I felt a physical tightness right here, Right in your solar plexus. Woo! Right in your solar plexus, right? So I knew that something was up. I knew that something was whispering to me, no, no lo hagas. Don't do it. Right? Have you ever had that? Right? It is important for you to pay attention to your intuition. Now, that was not just a one-time thing. For 3 days, my friends, for 3 days, hermosas chulas, I wrestled with myself, with my intuition. I felt loca. I mean, honestly, I thought, who turns down this kind of opportunity based on a feeling, right? There's my woo-woo-ness showing. But eventually I listened. I listened to my intuition because I kept trying to go to sleep and I couldn't go to sleep and I kept waking up. And then I finally looked at the offer and I walked away. And 2 months later, that company went through a massive scandal that would have dragged me and my brand, even though it was a small brand, the Marti Angel, right? MujerPreneur brand. It would have dragged my brand through the mud along with theirs. You see, in that situation, and I know that's pronounced wrong, but I listened to my intuition, and that 6th sense saved me from embarrassment. Yes. ¿Cuántas veces? Now let me ask you, how many times, cuántas veces te ha pasado eso? How many times have you had that same feeling, but plowed through anyways without really listening? Raise your hand. How many times have you ignored that inner voice because you didn't want to seem emotional, too sensitive, or unprofesional? No, you know? Maybe being called non-professional, maybe being called too woo-woo, like they always call me, or weird. I love that. You know, when people used to call me weird when I was in high school, I would just smile. It just kind of felt warm to me. Okay, I am a weird person, right? I am weird. Weird in my vocabulary meant very different and very open, right? So here's the truth. Hermosas chulas. Mi gente. Intuition is just high-speed data processing in your brain, in your body, in your energy, in your energetic field. Let me repeat that. Intuition is just high-speed data processing that you are doing. You see, your brain and your soul are picking up on thousands of subtle clues that your conscious mind hasn't caught up to yet. So for us mujerpreneurs, we often call it el ojo de la madre, or just knowing, the knowingness, right? The knowingness. It's a cultural gift that we've been taught to suppress in professional settings. How many of you guys were taught to look at the numbers and only see the numbers and don't worry about anything else because the numbers are going to make it all good for you? And that, my friends, cannot be further from the truth. Hermosas chulas. All right, mujeres. My name is Marti Angel. I am the host right here of Mujer De Exito Unbounded, and I want to take a moment to invite all of you BIPOC, Latina authors, mujerpreneurs, women entrepreneurs, to come on to my show because I know that you have a voice and I know that you have something to share that can benefit others. So if you are a servant leader and you want to share something to elevate others, then this is the podcast for you. Make sure to reach out drop me a comment in the description below, or if you're listening to me wherever you listen to your favorite shows, drop it in the show notes. But I'm here to tell you, okay, so let's move forward. I'm here to tell you that your sixth sense is actually your most efficient CEO. You see, it helps you cut through the noise. It helps you manifest success by guiding you toward the path of least resistance and of greatest impact. You know, and let me just share with you, every morning before I start, I say, dear God, before I open my computer, please help me to open up to hear your words, guiding me toward the path of least resistance and greatest impact. I want to be a beacon of your light. And then I just do what I gotta do, right? Try it sometime. So now let me ask you this. How do we actually use this information in our daily business life? In Spanish, ¿cómo sintonizamos esa frecuencia? That's a frequency. How do you synthesize that frequency so that you know what you have to do? And you know how to access it. See, that's the whole thing, is that a lot of people don't know how to access it. So first, you have to quiet the noise, el ruido. The noise. If your calendar is packed from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and you are constantly in react mode, you will never hear your intuition. You need espacio. And I recommend it, right? If you see my eyes, let me take a little breather. If you see my eyes going to the right, it's because I forgot to turn off my phone here. Right? Distractions. So let me just turn it all the way off so that I don't get any phone calls. All right, let's go back. So you need espacio. I recommend at least 15 minutes of what I call the CEO silence every morning. No phone, no emails, just you and your cafecito. And when you're there, sit in a place that you are comfortable, that you feel good, that you're going to be able to sit there for a while and ask yourself, where is my energy being pulled today? And then listen. And then mentally ask it again. Where is my energy being pulled today? And you're going to get an answer. But it takes practice to get the answer. I remember I kept on, when I was first starting out, I kept on repeating the question. And really, you have to kind of think about it. If you're talking all the time, you're not going to be able to listen. At some point, I remembered to ask the question 3 times and then just listen. Right? So that was your first one. Okay, your second thing that I want you to do is to start small. Use your sixth sense to make minor decisions. What should I post on social media today? Place your hands right over your heart. Take a deep breath, inhale, and on the exhalation, just ask, what should I post on social media today? And you have to wait long enough. You have to kind of wait long enough to get an answer. And at first you might get an inkling or a word, and you just, after practice, you just have to kind of discern what it is. You can also ask yourself, should I reach out to that contact now or should I wait? Is this a good time to email this contact or wait? You see, the more you act on those small nudges, the stronger the muscle becomes. Entre más usas tu intuición, es como un músculo que hay que entrenar. So it's kind of like a muscle that you have to train. So use it, practice it. And thirdly, the third thing I want to share with you, which is so incredibly important for you. And this is a big one for you, my MujerPreneurs, my Mujeres de Exito, my seasoned MujerPreneurs. Mujeres de Exito, you are unbounded. Remember that. You're not just a Mujer de Exito, which means woman of success, but you are a woman of success without limits. That's what unbounded means. So I want you to trust your experience. You see, if we're in our, what I call the sunset years over the age of 50, you know, at this stage in our lives, our intuition is backed by decades of having been there, done that, right? Mujeres, I know that you have felt that. You have felt, been there, done that, and thought that. You know, I'm talking about that gut feeling that is actually your 30 years of expertise speaking to you in a millisecond. And I want you to know this. Do not doubt it. No lo dudes. Do not doubt it. Go with it. Go with it. But you have to practice going with it, right? It's so important for you to realize that you have to go with it. Because if you're not practicing your intuition, then, you know, your manifestations are not going to work. Because manifestation and intuition go hand in hand. So let's talk about manifestation now. Vamos a platicar de manifestación. Manifestation isn't just about wishing for things, closing your eyes and sitting on the couch and just saying, okay, when I open my eyes, there's going to be an elephant in the room. Well, let me talk about the elephant in the room, people. It's about being in alignment so that you can see the doors when they open. It's not about that block that you have. It's about being in alignment. Your energy has to be in full alignment. When you are tuned in to your sixth sense, you start to see synchronicities. You think of a person and they call you. How many times has that happened to you? Raise your hand. Has that happened to you? You think of a person and then they call you? Well, that is your sixth sense. You have an idea for a product, or you have maybe in your heart a car that you want to buy, and all of a sudden you see them everywhere. You have an idea for a product in your business, and you see an article that gives you the exact resource you need. Mujeres hermosas, chulas, these are not accidents. I do not believe in accidents or coinkydinks. There is a message in it for you. No son coincidencias. This es el universo. This is the universe responding to your frequency. You are on that highway. You are on that frequency. You know, every frequency is a highway. You are on that highway, right? So that's important. And if you haven't manifested what you want, it's because you haven't made it to that same highway, to that same frequency. Mujeres hermosas chulas, let me share with you. You manifest from your sixth sense, not from your hustling. Let me repeat that. You manifest from your sixth sense, not your hustling. Let me take this time to say, Mujeres hermosas chulas, if you're still with me, Watching me on the Coach Marti Angel YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss an episode. If you are listening to me wherever you listen to your favorite shows, remember to download the episode because that's how we get traction. And also, if you like this episode, share it out. Help me to help more mujerpreneurs gain clarity and focus on who they serve and begin to rock their six figures, or perhaps somebody that might join my Rock Your Biz Academy. All right, let's get back to it. When you manifest from your sixth sense, you stop hustling, mujeres, and you start flowing. No more hustle, now the flow. You work harder, yes, but it feels lighter. Maybe you work just a little bit longer, but it still feels lighter. Se siente como una fluidez, como más fluidez. Oh my goodness, I can't even speak this morning. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry about that. Mujeres hermosas chulas, if you listen to your sixth sense, you are no longer pushing against the current. You are no longer swimming upstream. You are the current. You are in the flow. You just float and let yourself be taken by the current of success, the current of manifestation. You see, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of listening to your sixth sense. Now, mujeres hermosas chulas, I want to challenge you this week. You know, as a former formal educator, I always give homework, but I always want you to do something, to take action. So I want to challenge you this week. I want you to pick one business decision, something that has been on your mind, and instead of looking at the pros and cons list, ask your sixth sense. Put your hands over your heart, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and with your eyes closed, ask yourself, does this expand me or contract me? Any version of that question. Do I feel expanded? Do I feel contracted? Any version of that question will help you really hone in and tune into your intuition. Because, you know, you gotta be really in tune with your feelingness. Because it's a feeling you're asking for. So if it feels like expansion, if it feels like you can breathe and take a deep breath and just relax into it or whatever, that's the expansion. That's your sixth sense telling you, ooh, that feels good. And if you feel that expansion, if you feel that deep breath and then a relaxation that comes from letting go, then do that. That is your answer. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. Just do it, as Nike says. But mujeres hermosas chulas, here is the difference. And I had a hard time when I started to do this, I had a hard time really feeling the expansion or the contraction. So here's what I did, and this is a little cheat sheet for you. So I would take a Post-it note and I would write a word. So I'm going to do it right now. If you're watching me, just do it. And so I'm going to write the word love, right? So you can see it. I'm going to write the word love. Just one word. I write the word love. I put it in my non-dominant hand and press with my dominant hand. Take a deep breath and close my eyes and then ask myself, Do I feel expansive? Does this expand me? Or does this contract me? And mentally repeat the word that you wrote here, and then just notice how your body feels. For me, it felt very expansive. And just try that. It's a little game that I used to do with my students. Then write another one and put fear on there. And do the same thing. And begin to notice the difference. You might need to do it more than once. Play with it. Play with it. The more you play with your intuition, the stronger it becomes. Why? Let me share with you why. Because when you play, the word play is actually an acronym for the power of light and love assisting you. So play with it. Do it. If it feels like a contraction, it's a contraction, then don't do it. It's so important. Promise me, mujeres hermosas, chulas. Promise me that you will do this. Because I want you to begin to remember who you are. You, mujeres hermosas, chulas, are inherently worthy exactly as you are. Every one of you deserves to have great wealth. Every one of you, because you are inherently worthy exactly as you are. And remember, you are a mujer de éxito unbounded. You are unbounded in every form and every sense. You're not just a professional. You're a spiritual being having a very successful business experience. So I want you to begin to act like it. Act like you are a successful business person. What would you do next? Would you smile? You know, people say that, oh, if I act like that, I have to buy this, buy that. No, I don't want you to buy anything. I want you to say, ooh, yeah, if I wanted to, I could buy that. If I wanted to, I could buy that. And just feel the fact that you get a choice to do that. That's a feeling place. That's also a practice of your sixth sense. Because as I said before, mujeres hermosas, chulas, you are a spiritual being having a very successful business experience. And what I want you to do is to go out there and practice that. Well, hermosas, chulas, we have come to the end of today's episode. As you know, all the episodes that I record are usually what I call drive time. No more than 30, 40 minutes if it's an interview with somebody. And if you are looking for a podcast where you can share out tips and tricks in order to help your fellow, if you are into fellow mujerpreneur, if you are into collaboration over competition, if you've got something to share, if you've got a powerful story, I want you on the show. Reach out to me, the Mujer de Exito Unbounded. I'm your host, Marti Angel. Gracias por estar aquí conmigo hoy. Thank you for being here with me today. And I'll say it again. If this episode spoke to you, please take a screenshot, share it onto your stories, and tag me. Because anytime I get tagged, if it's about my podcast, I pick somebody to give them a gift, right? So let's spread this abundance to all the mujerpreneurs out there, to all the BIPOC women, Latinas, authors, all of the beautiful women that are out there. It's time, hermanas, it's time. So it's time to come together, work together, grow together, success together, and help others do the same. As always, mujeres hermosas, chulas, This is Marti Angel, the host of the Mujer De Exito Unbounded, saying gracias por estar aquí. I hope you have a beautiful day. Keep trusting your magic. Keep practicing your sixth sense. Keep smiling. Stay strong. And remember, you got this. As always, have a beautiful day, everybody. This is Marti Angel signing off. Thank you for listening. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.